Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a very strange ancient site in India, completely built underground. This site is shrouded in mystery. We don't know who built it, why it was built, and how it was built. Experts believe it is at least 1,200 years old, and some locals even say it is 5,000 years old. The shape of the structure is mind boggling. When you see it from the air, it has a very unique shape, like an elaborately fashioned keyhole. I first visited this site in the last week of March, and I was amazed by the outer view and immediately proceeded to go down the steps to see what is underground. As I went in about a dozen steps, I realized that the entire structure is filled with water from a certain point onwards. I was not able to see the floor or what's inside because of the water, and the water is heavily contaminated. However, I was able to see Hindu religious signs painted inside, and I decided to go back up to the ground level and see if I could get another view. On top, there is a metal gate which is permanently locked. I looked through it and I could see some amazing carvings in the middle of all the water. The pillars are partially submerged underwater but exquisitely carved. At this point, I was dying to go inside, but it was impossible to get in. Luckily, locals told me something very interesting. Every year, locals pump the water out on a certain date and clean up the site for a religious event, and that event will be held today, the 19th of April. So I decided to wait until today so I could finally find out what's inside. When I entered this site today, I immediately felt a difference. I could see a large pump on site and the ground is dry, which means the water would have been pumped out a few days ago. I could also see fresh paint on the carvings of the entrance. As I entered through the steps, I had no idea what would be inside. Is it a large temple with many statues of Hindu gods? Or would this be some kind of an underground palace with elaborate rooms? Remember, ancient sites in India always surprise you. You should never come in with expectations. The steps which go down reach a low point. Then there is a small elevation, and then we enter into a chamber. This immediately leads to what looks like a square hole in the very center. The interior design is mind-boggling, and the beauty of this entire structure is beyond words. It makes you wonder if it was built by gods themselves. Looking at the interior, I realized right away that this is a very strange structure. It is not a Hindu temple. It is not a palace. We simply do not know why it was built. Some will definitely claim that this is a water well, but this makes no sense at all. Why does a water well need such an elaborate design and extraordinary carvings? Why create them at all, as they are going to be underwater most of the year? It has some other purpose. The entire structure was made for some scientific reason, a reason which we are not able to understand. Why did they have to build it in such a unique shape? It is even visible from the satellite, and the shape immediately catches your attention. Is it a coincidence, or was it meant to be recognized from the sky? Why is the structure so mysterious? No one knows its original name, and it has at least half a dozen nicknames among locals. What is interesting is that this square in the center is called Karunguri, which literally means black hole in Tamil language. What is even more surprising, locals believe that this hole has a secret doorway to a divine world. It could take you to a parallel universe. Did ancient builders create some kind of a doorway to access a parallel universe? Is this why this structure was built? Sitting in this place, looking at the black hole, I wonder if there could really be a doorway inside this which leads somewhere. Locals vehemently insist that it does have a doorway, and some claim to have even seen it. I've shown you so many different ancient sites. Many of them go underwater, and locals always claim there is a secret entrance inside. Is this site also going to be yet another one where I simply theorize there is a hidden doorway? No, today I'm going to show you that doorway. Look carefully at the inside walls. You don't see anything on this side, but on this wall, you can clearly see the opening. This is the top of the underwater doorway. You can even see the shadow of it being cast on water. But I wanted to see the entire doorway, so I found an archive footage of the site which was shot many years ago. And you're looking at the archive footage now, and you can see that at that time they had pumped out about 6 feet of water from the black hole. On 3 sides, there is nothing. These are just regular stone slabs. But on the 4th side, you can clearly see a perfectly rectangular doorway. Finally, all the local stories turn out to be true. This is an entrance to some place. Some of you will try to explain it as a water inlet or outlet, but for that purpose, a small circular hole would have been enough. This is more than 5 feet tall, and it could even be larger since we're not able to see the bottom. Such a large, perfectly rectangular doorway was not built for anything else other than facilitating someone to use it to go somewhere. But where does it lead? Who would be able to use this underwater passage? Does it really lead to a parallel universe? Is the name black hole a mere coincidence, or are we looking at something scientific? Perhaps I could find some clue from these carvings. They're quite amazing, even after being underwater almost throughout the year. The carvings show very little sign of corrosion. This is Garuda, a popular flying god in Hinduism. This one does not look human. It has a conical face and its legs are pointing in opposite directions. Here's a monkey facing off with a gigantic snake. We can see strange slots carved on them, but the more I walk around and I try to find out what's going on, the more mysterious this structure seems to become. Why is the structure always filled with so much water that it needs to be pumped out on a certain date? Remember, I visited the structure in March when it was full of water? At that time, I also visited the lake nearby, which is less than half a mile away. It was completely dry, and by looking at the lake bed, we can understand that it's been dry for many months. This part of India is a very dry area, and this lake is much deeper than the ancient site. Yet, the lake is bone dry, and the black hole site is always filled with water. How is that possible? Even more interesting, locals tell me that this site will again start filling with water very soon, even without any rainfall. What kind of technology is employed here? If we assume that there is a natural spring that comes out of the ground from this location, it will keep releasing plenty of water all the time. If that's the case, how did they construct this gigantic structure made of hundreds of blocks of granite, completely underwater? How did they set up the foundation underwater? So what do you think? Why is this square called the black hole? Where would this doorway take us? What is the purpose of this structure? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell button to get all the updates. Please give this video a thumbs up and do share it with your friends. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.